So this um, was how I started a Kenkey business, a small Kenkey business with no money of my own. Most people have the idea that they need money to start that business. I've heard that rebuffed many times, and I've come to join the school of thought that yes, indeed, in most cases, money isn't the problem. Money shouldn't be the reason why you're not able to start that business. In most cases, I say. So, how did I start a kinky business with no money? Last year, I remember at church there's this woman who sells kinky, not at church. She fellowships at our church, but she's a kinky seller, right? She does kinky and sells it by the roadside. And I remember I told the daughter that, look, after service, so mainly on Sundays, if you're a Christian, you know that you wake up early, you prepare yourself and even the kids for church. And so usually sometimes you don't eat when you get to church. Let's say you get to church around 9 a.m. Church usually closes around 12, and then you come home. And I realized that when you come home, you are hungry, but usually when people come home, that is when they are thinking of what to eat. Some people want to cook after church. Meanwhile, at that time, you are tired most of the time because Saturday, maybe you went to church, you went to work from Monday to Friday, and Saturday you're supposed to rest. But Saturday is when some other social engagements come in, like weddings, like funerals. You have to do other things, right? And so you need that Sunday afternoon to kind of rest, refuel for your um, week ahead. But Sunday is when people come, they return from church and are now looking for what to eat. So I told the daughter of this woman that, look, why not bring some of the kinky to church so we sell after church? And so we started that and it went really well. People bought into it and they were buying. But then it became on and off. Sometimes she brings it, sometimes she doesn't, and eventually she stopped. So at the end of May this year, when I was thinking about how to, what other streams of income can I get, I remembered this. And I was a face of the brand, anyways. I'm quite popular at church a little bit. So I went to the woman and I called the woman over the phone and spoke to her that I want to restart that, but now I want to restart it as a business because first um, they just came, I helped them to sell, and then that was it, right? So I told her that I wanted to start it as a business, and so if she provides me with the kinky and fish that I'm supposed to sell, what will be my commission on it? And she told me that for every 200 CDs worth kinky, she would add, what amount did she say? She mentioned an amount she would add to it. Is it 30 CDs or something? And then for every 250 or 200 fish, I would also make 30 CDs on it. This was very small for me because 60 CDs, that's a low. So, and usually, yes, we don't sell to one bottle of kinky is 5 CDs. So we sell at least 40 pieces. um, a day, 40 to 50 pieces, So I started thinking, how am I going to make money on this? Because I don't know how to prepare the kenkey myself. And so what else can I add to be able to make money? Then the idea came to mind, why don't I add my other thing to this? So she brings kenkey and fish. Why don't I fry egg and sausages to it so that once people purchase those ones in addition, that money comes to me, right? So what did I need to be able to do that? I need the eggs, and a family friend does eggs, sells egg with crates. So I went to her and told her about this idea. So I'll get the crates of egg from her, and then I pay her after it's sold. Then sausages. I needed money to buy sausages. So a sausage is like 18 cities in my area. So I needed about three because there are 10 pieces in one. So I needed three. And then I would also need oil to fry, and I'll also need um, vegetables. So I use carrots and spring onions. So basically, roughly, I'll be needing like um, sausages, three pieces. Let's say one is even 20 cedis. That will be 60 cedis. For the oil, it's 35 cedis or 32 cedis. So that would be like 95 cedis. And then the spring onions, 5 cedis, and carrots, 7 cedis max. That would be 15 cedis. So 60, 35, 95 plus maybe another 15, that would be like 105. I hope I'm correct. So now I need 105 cedis. I told this family friend about it and she gave it to me. That was it. No, not my own money. So I started this business. Now, since I wanted it to be a business and not just the usual, I needed a name for it. So I was brainstorming with my wife what name would call it. And then we agreed on, we wanted something modern, something, so we settled on kinkified. So like be kinkified. And then we used ChatGPT to come up with a logo for it. And that was how I started. The first Sunday when I would start waking up, getting up early was because I needed to get up early to be able to fry the stuff, the eggs and then the sausages, and to be able to get to church too on time. All right. So that was the most difficult part of it for me because I wasn't used to it. So that was the toughest part for me. And, but now I'm used to it after a couple of tries. Yeah. So that's it, really. I needed to think about how I was going to set up a simple table, a cover cloth, and how to even package the egg so that it looks appealing to people, and the sausages. I just used a tray and arranged them on it and covered it. You should be seeing it on somewhere on the screen. It should be popping up somewhere. Yeah, and that's how come from May ending every Sunday at my church, I sell Kenkey after service. So right after service, I set up and people come to buy. And also I had to dress for it. So my apron and my hair bonnet, something to give it a different vibe. Now, what are the lessons? The lessons I've learned so far. Lesson one is that where there is a will, there is a way. Because I could have said, I don't know how to prepare kenkey. I could have said, I don't have the money for it, but I looked beyond that and looked at how to make it happen instead. So because of that, it happened for me. Um, I didn't have to be the one making the Kenkey. So whatever business you want to do, you don't need to be the person that has the product in the first place. You can be the middleman, because there is the product, there is the customer, but maybe the customer doesn't know how to get the product. So you can be that link, that bridge between where the product is and the customer. The middleman gets the product, puts your commission on it, and gets it to the customer. So that is how you can look at it if you don't have capital to start the business. You can also talk about the idea to people, um, close relatives. In my case, the money wasn't that much, so I was able to get the money to start it. So um, if the money is not too much, to test the idea, you can really get the sponsorship or the capital you need. The other lesson I learned is also that people still think that there are some roles that are for females, or there are some jobs that are, depending on your gender. So when I started the very first day, there was this usher at church who said, Richie, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm coming to sell Kenkey. Like, you could see the surprise on his face, and like, nah, how this, you shouldn't be doing this. I thinking that this should be something a woman should be doing, not a man. And I believe that people still have that notion. However, subsequently, he became enthused about it, and he would even ask me when I get to church, aren't you setting up today? Aren't you going to sell? So I was able to clear those things from people's mind. Yes, people get surprised when they see me selling Kenkey, but I believe also that that is my unique selling proposition. That is an advantage to me, because for them, they are not used to that. Okay, so it's like a wonder. So let me see what he's doing, and then I end up selling to them. So that's a good thing. So it doesn't matter if your idea is a male-dominated industry or a female-dominated industry. No, once you want to do it, just go ahead. That could be that could be your advantage. For instance, I don't know if you know Trotsky. Yeah, if you're in Ghana, you know Trotsky or Trocho. Like, that's commercial vehicles. Once a while, I see females being the conductors of the vehicle, what we call mates, right? And it's very nice. It's a unique selling, like something that's unique to them. It's an advantage, I think, if the person does and does it well. So what's the next step? For me, the next step is I'm currently looking for ways to upskill, how to take it beyond that small Sunday after church business to getting orders throughout the week or something. Yeah, to make more money, because now I'm not making too much money. I want to make a lot of money. So I'm thinking through that. One of the ways could be social media. When I started a week, after the first week, I went live on TikTok. So maybe I could be doing those to get more eyes to see what I'm doing. Maybe I should also look for a place to sell in the evenings, a good traffic place to sell in the evenings. Maybe that would be another way to get more customers. Also, the next step, I would like to learn how to make it myself. Yeah, I believe if I am able to learn how to make the Kenkey on my own, um, although I would invest more, the returns will also be more. I don't know. I'd have to try that to see how it works. So that is it for me, the next steps for my small kinky business. What other way do you think? What are your thoughts? What can I do? You can share your thoughts in the comments. Also, if you're in Ghana, anywhere in Accra or anywhere in Ghana, and you like to place bulk orders, or even in the diaspora, yeah, our Kenkey can go 10 days without getting spoiled. So you can fill the form in the description of this video, or let me know in the fill the form, and then we'll reach out to you and see how best we can get the product to you. Thanks for watching. I'll keep you posted in subsequent weeks of how it's going. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.